Alright, so you're either in a zombie outbreak fully, or it's happening in your area. That's the scenario. What you have to do, aside from the obvious, securing food, water, shelter, hopefully you had a plan and you were prepared. Um, you may even have a group. All that aside, another thing you have to do is ammunition conservation. Part of that could be fire control. In terms of shooting, not fire as in a fire. Why is this important? Well, like food, like water, ammunition is a finite resource. And it's not going to be as easily replaceable as water and even food is because, uh, for example, ammunition does not grow in the wild. You have to make it. And you may not be a reloader. Not every shooter reloads. I would say more shooters do not reload than do reload. And I could be wrong, but at least from what I've seen, I would say the majority, it may only be 51% as opposed to 49, do not reload. Again, I could be wrong with that, but that's just my assumption based on what I've seen. So reloading may not be an option for you. Even if it may have been, but if you went on the move, it no longer is. So you have to rely on what you have, and what you've taken with you, if you were on the move, as well as what you can scavenge from sporting goods stores and gun stores. So ammunition conservation. Part of ammunition conservation is going to be desensitizing yourself to the zombies. Why? Well, when you're panic-stricken, you're not going to be thinking clearly, and if you encounter one and are panicked, especially if you're not fully understanding that it's a zombie, you may draw your gun and shoot them in the chest. It's a big target area, not one that you can miss easily at close range. It's basically the area you have highest chance of hitting. So you may do that, but it's not going to do anything because it's a zombie. Now maybe after doing a couple of hits, you realize it's not just a normal person. Maybe you go for a headshot. If you're training on Mozambique technique, you probably went for that headshot anyway. But even with the Mozambique technique, that's 2 more shots that are wasted than you need. So you have to kind of desensitize yourself a bit. You have to get over the fear and the panic, which the only way to truly do that is with time and exposure. You can prepare yourself as much as you want, but once you survive an encounter, then you can really start overcoming that. And it's important. You don't want to let fear grip you. You have to overcome. That'll help in terms of ammunition conservation. Because once you realize it only takes 1 shot in the head, you're not going to waste shots in the torso to do nothing. Also, part of ammunition conservation isn't needlessly killing a zombie. Now, I know that sounds contradictory to zombie survival, but it makes sense. Think about it this way. If you're hiding out in your safe shelter, right? And there's a zombie down the block, but it doesn't notice you, it doesn't see you, and it's waddling off, shambling off, away from you even. And, it's getting towards dusk, whatever, but you could take the shot with a rifle. You have a rifle, you have a scope, let's say even. You have the ability to take that shot and drop that zombie, and you do. Well, that immediate zombie that you saw is no longer a threat. But you just made a loud noise. There may be dozens of other zombies in your area, in other houses around the block, who heard that shot. And now, instead of shambling around aimlessly, they may be shambling around still aimlessly because they don't really have higher functions, but in the direction of that noise if they can pinpoint it. Now they may not be able to. Maybe out of those, let's say 2 dozen, only 8 can really pinpoint its direction. Chances are, unless they had some type of line of sight to kind of maybe see the muzzle flash, or were really close, they may not even know where exactly. They just know that block. So now, instead of having that 1 zombie, you got 6 or so zombies shambling around in your line of sight. And if you shoot those, you're just going to be attracting more for that night. Where if you didn't shoot that 1 zombie, maybe it shambled off away from you, maybe even came towards you, but went all the way past your shelter, right? Didn't notice you as long as you didn't attract any attention. and you're safe for that night. Now you have 6, your safety diminishes. That's a case in which you wouldn't take the shot. Remember, you are not zombie sweep and clean teams. You are not zombie hunting teams. You are zombie survivalists. You are zombie survivors. Basically, you are the future of the human race, if you want to think about it in that way. The more pockets of survivors that keep that mindset and don't go into zombie sweep or zombie kill mindsets, the more zombie groups that will survive. The more zombie groups that will survive, higher chance of zombie groups close in your area establishing contact, becoming bigger, safer, stronger, in theory. Remember, it's all theory in terms of getting bigger and getting safer. Of course, when you get bigger, you have a much better chance of attracting zombies due to size, needing more supplies, more scavenging going out. Then that would kind of dictate the need to clear zombies from the area. But until you really try and establish a new township, so to speak, with lots of people, or if you move from a populated area to a less populated area and kill the zombies over there, you don't really want to sweep. Like, it's think about it this way: the closer you are to a high population density in a city or in a densely packed suburban area, more zombies to hear potentially. More zombies to come towards you. If you moved away to a more rural area, significantly less zombies. So you can try doing that, and then in that case, if you're in a small little town like that was deserted, that has no more than like 100 people living in it, even if they were all turned to zombies, if you have a group with you, if you have the capability, dealing with the 100 zombies max potential, not accounting for zombies staggering in randomly from different areas, is much higher than being, let's say, in a suburban area where you have to account for thousands. And that in that case, you may want to sweep. But we're getting out of the topic here, which is ammunition control. Ammunition control is important. Even if you're able to find ammunition stocks from sporting goods store in their supply or in a gun shop or whatever, even if you're able to find ammunition for you, you don't want to waste it needlessly, because you don't have a tally of how many are out there. It could be 150, it could be 1,500, it could be 2 million. You don't know. You don't know what's between you and salvation, pretty much. So you don't want to risk it, especially not near your safe zones. If you're out scavenging and there's zombies gathering in an area, or zombies that potentially can see you because you've been making noise scavenging, if they see you, then you can, of course, start shooting them in the head. But it's not just about see a zombie, shoot it, because that train of thought can quickly get you cut off. It can quickly get your safe area overrun, and that is contradictory to surviving. Remember, you're survivors, you're not zombie hunters. So hopefully this wasn't too much off topic in the middle ground of this video. Ammunition conservation. Shoot them in the head, take time for the shot. You don't need to double tap. You don't need to fire off in rapid succession. Nobody's going to be judging you, scoring you on points. This isn't a competition. Somebody may drop 3 zombies and you only are able to drop 2, let's say, but where you use 2 rounds, they use 10. You really would be the victor if there was a competition, because you have more shots and you've made less noise, pretty much. So remember, clear, concise shots. Take your time, aim it, shoot it in the head. And that's pretty much it for this video lecture, if you want to call it that. So remember, conserve your ammunition for whatever you're shooting, be it shotguns, rifles, handguns. And on top of that, always have a plan. Be prepared. Preparedness is all. So be prepared, have a plan, and stay safe. Take care.